Good morning, everybody. TGIF. It's Friday. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I am your host of the EmpowHER podcast. We are Christy Copeland, and we welcome you this morning. We are so thankful we made it to another Friday. Woo! We can breathe. It's Friday, y'all. It's the weekend. Let's have a good time today and enjoy the rest of our day. But I am so excited that you've joined me today. Good morning, Miss Dee Dee. I'm so excited that you are joining this morning. Come on, everybody. I have a doozy this morning. I've been so excited about this all week. And I am ready to share, ready to have conversation. There's something going on with Facebook. So if it's not working, it's Facebook. But I know it is streaming on YouTube live as well. But welcome to the EmpowHER Experience podcast talk show. This is where healing is the upgrade, okay? And growth is always the goal. So I am your host, Evangelist Christy Copeland, also a licensed professional counselor, and I am the founder of the EmpowHER organization. And so today's conversation is one that I know is probably going to step on some toes, but guess what? If it does, let it step with purpose. How about that? So like, tag, and share, and so that other people can get in on this conversation. If you know someone who might need it, then we will definitely would love for you to tag them in this so they can come in on this conversation as well. So today's episode, oh my goodness, today's episode is called Sis, Read the Room. And no, this is not about being fake. This is not about shrinking yourself, or it's not about people pleasing. This is about emotional intelligence. This is about discernment. So this is about awareness and timing and maturity and understanding that every environment does not require the same version of you. So, and when I say that, meaning there might be ways that I can act at home or ways that I can act when I'm out with my friends, but it's not necessarily appropriate in a business setting. So we're going to talk about that. And sometimes we think that the opposition or the adversity that we face has to do with everybody else or jealousy and things like that. But sometimes that's not the reason that you face those things. Sometimes the reasons doors close is because and that the reason relationships become strained, or the reason that people stop inviting you into certain spaces, is not always jealousy. Sometimes you just didn't read the room. And reading the room means being aware of the social atmosphere, being aware of emotional and mental atmosphere around you. It means noticing what's appropriate in the moment and what people may need emotionally, what timing requires, what energy the environment can handle. So some people walk into every room with the same volume, the same energy, the same reactions, the same emotional demand. And then people get offended. They get offended when people start distancing themselves. So everything is not for every moment. You cannot respond to grief like a celebration. You can't correct like rejection, and accountability like an attack. Silence as abandonment, or professional spaces like group chats. Like you have to read the room and know what setting you're in and see what that environment and that emotional state or mental state of that room is. So let me say this carefully, because we hear this a lot about being real. But I do want to say being real without wisdom can become reckless. So let that sink in for a moment. Let that sink in for a moment. Being real without wisdom can become reckless. Wow. So let's go deeper. Because a lot of people are not intentionally insensitive. Sometimes trauma affects their awareness. So when somebody has lived in survival mode for years, they may become emotionally reactive instead of emotionally observant. So, man, I'm ready. I'm ready to get into this. So y'all come on. I know I got some people who want to hear this. And I think the EmpowHER Facebook might not be working, but it should be working on my personal page as well. But I'm gonna get into this. And when people jump on, they jump on, or they can go back and watch the replay. But sometimes trauma affects our awareness. When someone has lived in survival mode for years, as I said, they can become more emotionally reactive than observant. So what they do is they'll interrupt constantly. They'll overshare in inappropriate spaces. They make everything about themselves. They tend to become defensive very quickly, or they'll misread facial expressions. They'll assume rejection where there is actually no rejection. Or sometimes they'll dominate conversations because internally they don't feel heard. So they will dominate those conversations. And so sometimes people are not trying to control the room. They're trying to survive in the room. And that is why healing matters, people. Healing matters. That I don't like that fake it till you make it. No, let's not fake it till we make it. Let's heal when we reveal. Let's heal what becomes uncovered. Let's not keep faking it till we make it. So that way we stop self-destructing and self-sabotaging opportunities and relationships and being in spaces that we can actually thrive in, but we're actually surviving in because we won't deal with stuff. So, because untreated wounds can make you emotionally loud in spaces that require emotional wisdom. Now, this next part, it might sting a little bit. It might sting a little bit, but guess what? It's all right. Everybody does not need your opinion on everything. Uh-oh. I'm going to say it again. Everybody does not need your opinion on everything. Okay? Some people always have to correct. Some people always got to challenge. Some people always I just got to expose it. Some people always got to debate it. Some people, they always got to confront it. Or I just got to tell the truth. Yeah, I get your need for that. But hear me when I say, everybody doesn't need that on everything. And while honesty matters, wisdom matters. Wisdom's ask, is this the right time? So maybe there may be a time for you to correct or challenge or expose or confront or tell the truth. But ask yourself, let wisdom take its course. Is this the right time? Is this the right setting? Is this necessary? So let me tell you, this was something I'm kind of ashamed to even admit, but I used to be addicted to, I ain't gonna say addicted to, I ain't gonna say that because I wasn't addicted, but I used to love this show called Love and Hip Hop. Every city, I used to watch it. Atlanta, Miami, Hollywood, New York. I watched the show Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. One of the things that stopped me from watching this show is the fact that there was always somebody doing something crazy at an event that someone has put their money, their time, their effort, and their hard work into putting it on. They were having baby showers and people were coming up in there. Yeah, I'm going to confront her today about what she said. This is a baby shower. They were having little kids' birthday parties. Yeah, I'm going to tell her about this. I'm about to expose this. Why are you going up in this little 2-year-old birthday party acting a complete idiot? That's not the right time, sis. Not the right time, bro. Not the right setting. And so that turned me off because I was like, it is sad how you have adults who they don't even consider what this person has sacrificed or what all they've had to put in to make that event be what it is, all the money and effort and energy that they put into it and what it means to the people that it's for. And yet they come in there and they're throwing drinks at each other, cursing across the room at each other, fighting, throwing blows, snatching wigs, just ratchet. And I'll be sitting there at the TV like, people, not the right time, not the right setting. Is this absolutely necessary today? Is this helpful today? No. So you have to ask those questions. Am I being emotionally impulsive? Yes, and sometimes it was premeditated because they went there with the intention to do it. And then I'm wondering, where are these people around y'all? Where are your real friends? Where are the real people to hold you accountable? Say, sis, don't you go to that event and do that. Let's set up a one-on-one. Let's set up a sit down together somewhere where you are not in the public eye acting a fool and doing all of this. Where are those friends? Where are those people to hold accountable? We all need somebody to say, no, you out of pocket for that, sis. You can't be doing that. No, you don't need to go to that party doing all of that. It's a time and a place for that. And that ain't it. But the problem is a lot of us surround ourselves with people who feed the foolishness instead of imparting wisdom into us, telling us. The people that tell us and hold us accountable are the people we get mad at. You get mad at the ones that text you and tell you, no, you need to take that off of there because that is not cool. And that is not who you want. That's not who you're trying to represent. Or a moment of emotion. Don't let a moment of emotion tear down everything that you've worked so hard for. Don't let a moment of just impulsivity and getting in your feelings cause you to lose everything that you have worked so hard for. Now, those are the people we don't want to deal with. Those are the people we get upset with and we don't want to listen to. We want to listen to the ones that say, yeah, you need to tell them. Yeah, they need to know. Yeah, I was. That is absolute foolishness. And then when you do it, guess what they doing? Sitting over in the corner laughing at you, girl. I don't know why you did that, girl. So honesty matters. But wisdom matters. So ask, is this the right time? Is this necessary? Is this the right setting? Is this helpful? Or am I just emotionally impulsive? Because some people are not rejecting your honesty. They're exhausted by your lack of discernment. There's a difference between being bold and being disruptive. And maturity is learning that just because something is true does not mean that it has to be announced immediately. No. Doesn't mean it has to be announced immediately. Now, can we talk about emotional rooms? Because some people walk into emotionally heavy spaces, completely disconnected from what's happening around them. Oh my gosh. I'm really going to help somebody right here. Imagine that somebody is grieving, or they're overwhelmed, or they're struggling emotionally, and somebody else walks in the room demanding attention and validation or celebration. Have the nerve to think that somebody acted funny with them, when if you was reading the room, since you would obviously be able to see something is going on with them. So it ain't about you. You have walked into this space completely disconnected from what's happening around you. Sis, read the room. Everybody around you might be emotionally drowning, while you're frustrated because people aren't clapping loud enough for you. Emotional intelligence will notice the tension and the exhaustion and the discomfort. It's going to notice that. Whew. It's going to notice the tension. It's going to notice the exhaustion. It's going to notice the discomfort and the grief or the withdrawal or the awkwardness. It's going to notice when a person has been overstimulated. I had a situation recently where I had just done something and it was really heavy, what I did. And so after I did it, I was emotionally overstimulated, and I was emotionally exhausted from what I just done. And it's like, as soon as I decided to just take a moment and just like try to decompress from what I had just done, there was someone not reading the room, and it was like blah 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 blah. And so I'm just sitting here like, we got to read the room, y'all. And emotionally mature people know how to adjust, not abandon themselves, but adjust. There's power in knowing when to speak, when to listen, when to encourage, when to pray, when to sit quietly, and when your presence alone is enough. Sometimes you don't have to say anything. Sometimes you don't have to say anything. All you have to do is just sit there sometimes. I have a lot of people who say in counseling, about someone grieving, and they don't know what to, absolutely not the right time, Ms. Dee. They don't know what to say to the person who's grieving, or the person who's going through the breakup, or the person who's going through the divorce, or say to someone who's having a hard time. And I tell them, sometimes just letting them know I'm here, or just being there with them, just sitting there with them is enough. We always feel like we have to say something. Sometimes the best thing you can do is say nothing and just be present. Sometimes we can ask, sis, what do you need in this moment? Or brother, what do you need in this moment? Or honey, what do you need in this moment? Let them tell you what they need. Sometimes we accuse people of switching up when they really just got tired of you and your antics. Look, I'm just going to keep it real. This is a moment for keeping it real. This is the space for it. Sometimes they just got tired of you and tired of your antics. If you call somebody and you ask them what they're doing, and they say, oh, I just got off work, I'm tired, I'm emotionally just drained, like my battery is on empty right now, guess what? That is not the time to start dumping all your problems on them. That is not the time to bombard them with a bunch of questions. That is not the time to start asking them all these things, or just to keep going. That's the time to say, you know what, sis? I bet you are. I'm sure you've had a long day. So if you get a chance tomorrow where you're not busy and you feel like, please give me a call, because I would like to talk with you about something. That's wisdom. So a lot of us, you want to know why people are withdrawing from you or people start missing in action, they tired of your antics. They are tired of emotional chaos. They are tired of constant negativity. Everything that comes out of your mouth is negative. You don't like this person. You don't like that person. You don't like this. And they did this and they did that. Who wants to be around that all day, every day? No. You ought to like somebody. Something ought to be good. Tell me something good. People get tired of constant negativity, tired of unnecessary drama. There are some people who are so chaos. They have such a storm going on the inside of them, in here and in here, that they bring chaos to everything around them. And normal, quiet people getting along, that is so unfamiliar to them, and it's unnatural to them, not normal to them. So guess what? They're going to try to do something to create some chaos. They can't stand everybody being happy. Why? Because they're not happy. They can't stand peace. Why? Because they don't have peace. They don't have peace on the inside. So if they don't have peace on the inside, how can they have peace with you? But people are tired of that. People are tired of inappropriate timing. Thank you, Miss Dee Dee. I don't know what's going on with Facebook, but I'm so glad you're on here talking back to me. Thank you. Yes, people are tired of inappropriate timing. They're tired of this attention-seeking behavior. You drained. Oh, my gosh. Oh, I'm finna help out some ministers, some evangelists, some pastors, some preachers, whoever, missionaries, whatever you are. They getting tired of this. They done got up there. They have preached. They have poured out their heart. They have prayed. They have at the altar. They done tarried. They done did all this, laying on their hands and prophesying and all of this. You had every opportunity to come up there and get prayer. Come up there and get your word. Come up there and get your prophecy. And what do? You stop them in the hallway. You stop them in the parking lot. They at their car, trying to get in their car. You can see they about to pass out because they so tired from what they just poured out. And then here you go, after they have come down out of the anointing, come down off of that high that they had while they were ministering, and here you are, they trying to get home to their families and to rest and get them about to eat, and now you want prayer. Now you want a parking lot prophecy or a hallway prophecy. Come on, people. It's time to stop with the foolishness. Why do I feel like I'm fussing? I'm not trying to fuss, but I'm trying to help some people, because a lot of times we think it's everybody else. No, sometimes, boo, sometimes it's you. Sometimes it is you. People are tired of just emotional dumping. Get you a therapist. Get you a therapist and do all your dumping. People are tired of conversations that always center around one person. And let's normalize something. People are allowed to create distance from environments that feel emotionally draining. Okay? People are allowed to. They have that right. You have the right to set boundaries in your life, regardless of what people tell you. Just because you say, just because you're a Christian, don't mean everybody gets an all-access pass. I tell y'all that all the time, because that's why you drain. Because you think because you're saved, or because you're a Christian, or because you've been told that, or because you've been raised that way, that everybody gets all-access pass. No, they don't. They only get it if you decide to give it to them. You are allowed to set boundaries. You are allowed to decide who gets access to your space. That doesn't make anyone fake. That doesn't automatically make them fake. It doesn't automatically make them jealous. It doesn't automatically mean they hate you or they dislike you. Sometimes people are just protecting their peace. I remember a couple of years ago, I would get these phone calls, and it was the same individual. And every time it was, when I saw you do it, what did you, or you made a face, did you, or that hurt my feelings because you made it. I was like, what? This was every time they called my phone. And I was like, you know what? I got permission to not engage in any of this foolishness, because every time it was always some foolery, a situation that was misread. So apparently if you in my presence all the time and every time you misreading something I say, I ain't even thinking about you, I'm looking over here, or I'm in my head thinking about something and my face is showing something, but you automatically think it's got something to do with you, then maybe you got an issue. Because if it's me, I'm gonna tell you, but this was every time. And so I made the decision. I can create space from situations that emotionally drain me. So guess what? The next time you call, you get my voicemail. You get my voicemail. And if you send a text, I'll respond when I'm ready if I want to. And if the text is crazy, there is such thing as a block button. Because I'm allowed to create distance from environments that are emotionally draining. And so are you. Because one of the strongest signs of growth is when you can stop asking who hurt me and start asking, how am I showing up in rooms? Whew. We're going to stop asking who hurt me and start, or why they hurt me, and start asking, how am I showing up in rooms? And so let's bring this into business, ministry, leadership, and professional spaces, because we're going into Empower Her in a couple of weeks. We're going next level her. Y'all, some of us, because everybody don't get it, but some of us are getting ready to grow. It's not about just growing to a different platform or growing our businesses. We want all that stuff too. But guess what? We also want to grow emotionally and mentally, because that matters. Why does that matter? Because if you don't grow mentally and emotionally, you will keep sabotaging professional settings. You will keep sabotaging your ministries when you are not emotionally mature and emotionally intelligent. So that we're gonna talk about all those things. Some of us are getting ready to grow in those areas, and it's going to make our lives so much better. Because not only does God care about your spiritual, he cares about your emotional and your mental well-being, regardless of what people may say. Why does he care about that? Because he knows that if your emotions aren't in check, you'll do reckless things. He knows that the Bible, like the Bible says, it's with the mind that we serve the Lord. If your mind ain't right, how can you really serve him like you need to? So God cares about those things. So the next time you hear somebody in a spiritual setting, professional setting, or wherever say that God don't care about your feelings, God don't care about your emotions or your mental or your emotional well-being, yes, he does. Yes, he does. Everybody cannot go where you're trying to go if they refuse to mature emotionally. Why? Because they'll set up, and everything you work hard for, they'll help you lose it. They'll make you lose everything you work for. I remember there's a big recording artist. I ain't gonna call their name. Big time recording artist who came to East Texas. And I was the person serving this recording artists. I mean, they are internationally known. I was the person serving this recording artist. And when I tell you, their staff, the people they had around them, were so nasty. They were so rude. I mean, just so out of pocket. I didn't care how much money these people had. I did not care what status they had. I didn't care if they was known on planet Mars. I said it. Yes, I said it. I meant it, and I will represent it. I told them, y'all never have to call me back to serve this person again. Because just because you might be very well known does not give you nor your team the right to be mean and nasty. So you cannot have people, you can't get to where you're trying to go if you've got people around you who are not mature emotionally or have emotional intelligence. No, ma'am. No, sir. You can't have them gossiping in every room. The people, your guests are sitting there and they talking crazy to your guests and gossiping in front of your guests and over talking leadership. I'm finna help some preachers and pastors and stuff out again. Your pastor standing over here talking to other people, and then you supposed to be serving him. You walk up, you over talking him. You done got all in the conversation. Come on, step back. You're supposed to be seen and not heard in that moment because you have an assignment to do. Now, if that's not something that you want to do, then you need to give that up and give it to somebody who will do it and do it properly. But you can't have people over talking leadership, ignoring boundaries, having a lack of discretion. The leader can't even be safe in your presence. They can't even tell you that they're having a bad day. They can't even tell you about something that bothered them. And they're not asking you for feedback. Now, if they say, what do you think? Or how do you feel? What do you think I should do about that? Then, hey, now you got space to say something. But if they don't ask you, don't give it. Just listen. Learn. Read the room, sis. You can't have people ignoring boundaries and lacking discretion, and they can't trust that if you in the room that you're gonna go run out and tell all of their business. They got to be able to trust that you can handle their idiosyncrasies and what they're going through or what they're dealing with at that moment, because at the end of the day they're still a human being. So you can't have that. You can't have people that make scenes. Even if they don't like something. If somebody brings you in or somebody has you on a platform and they following you and helping you out, they can't be making scenes in these places, regardless, because some stuff is gonna not be okay. You got to read the room. You can't have people making scenes or disregarding professionalism. You can't have that, or constantly operating emotional reactivity. You cannot have that and expect other people to trust you with greater opportunities. You can't do it, because favor might open that door. But guess what? Emotional maturity and good character is what's going to help keep you there. Because some people have gifts, but they don't have stewardship. Ooh. Now, somebody need to put some fire in the chat right there. They got gifts, but they don't have stewardship. They don't have it. And one thing about elevation is it exposes emotional immaturity quickly. Woo. Now, I need to say this because somebody listening may think, so now I'm supposed to water myself down. I didn't say that. Did I say that? Those of you who listen, did I say that? No. Reading the room does not mean becoming fake. It means understanding wisdom and using it. Jesus read rooms. He knew when to flip those tables. He knew when to heal. He knew when to disappear. He knew when to confront. And he knew when to remain silent. And guess what? That comes with using wisdom. Somebody might say, well, no, he did what he wanted to do. No, go read your Bible. Because your Bible says that he went into some places and he healed only the ones who will receive him. Those he didn't, those that wouldn't, guess what? He went on about his business. He didn't try to force his healing on them. You don't want it? Okay. I'm going to move around. He knew when to disappear. He knew when he had gotten emotionally exhausted. He knew when he had gotten tired of being pulled on and when he had gotten tired of operating in his flow of ministry. He knew when he needed to go and get refreshed and restored. He knew that. He knew when he needed to speak up and say something and confront some things. And he knew also when, you know what, I'm not even going to give which is holy to the dogs right now, because I can say this till I'm blue in my face and they don't want to hear it. They're not hearing because they don't want to hear. So why should I keep talking? So sis, why do you keep arguing with them? They just arguing with you because they want to argue. They're not trying to understand you. But yet you arguing and you are losing yourself dealing with people who are emotionally immature and not trying to understand you anyway. Discernment, discernment, discernment. Wisdom and discernment is not weakness. It is emotional and spiritual awareness. And some people keep ruining opportunities because they mistake impulsivity for authenticity. Everything you feel does not need immediate expression. Woo. Put that in the chat. Oh my God. Everything you feel does not need emotional expression. Matter of fact, just put some fire in there. So I want you to sit with these questions because, again, this is about us. It's not about everybody else. It's about us. And us growing anyway. And us maturing emotionally. And us becoming the next level her. Do I dominate conversations? Ask yourself that. Do I overshare in spaces that haven't earned that kind of access to me? Oh my God. Do I become defensive when I'm being corrected? Do I know how to regulate my emotions publicly? I can regulate my emotions, but tell my face, that's another thing. I'm working on it. I don't know. I'm trying. Do I know how to regulate my emotions publicly? Do I notice other people's emotional needs? But let me back up. I said, I'm working on my face. Don't you tell me what to do about my face, but I'm working on my face. Oh my God, that's an inside joke. But anyway, do I notice other people's emotional needs? Do I notice that when I enter the room? Do I require constant attention or reassurance? Do I know how to adjust without feeling rejected? Am I emotionally aware or emotionally reactive? Because healing is not just about expressing yourself. Healing is also about learning how to exist in healthy connections with other people. So sometimes growth looks like listening more, observing more, regulating more, discerning more, and responding with wisdom instead of impulsivity. This is good anyhow. I'm eating off my own plate today. Sis, read the room. Not so you can become smaller. Not so you can silence yourself, but so that you can move with wisdom, awareness, with grace, and emotional maturity. Because every room is teaching you something. If you stop talking long enough to notice it. And as always, I love y'all for watching. I don't know what Facebook got going on, but whatever. But I am so thankful that you were on here, Miss Dee Dee. I think I just saw Miss Carla had popped in too. Not sure if she's still on, but thank y'all so much for tuning in this morning. They can go back and watch the replay. I'm sure it'll be posted again. But thank y'all for tuning into the Empower Her Experience podcast today. I love y'all so much for spending your Fridays with me. I love you, period. But I especially love you for spending your Fridays with me. But before I go, I want to invite you to the event of the year. Come on, somebody. The Empower Her Experience 2026. Listen, this year is going to be one for the books. We have an amazing lineup. And this experience is, guess what? Free 99. Free 99. No registration, no fee. We do have about 5 vendor spaces left. And the vendor sign up, the deadline for vendors is, I believe, Monday is the 15th. Whatever June 15th is, that is the deadline. Yes, Miss Dee Dee. Woo, woo. We always have an amazing time. And this year, I know it's going to be no different. We are going to really have a great time both days. So don't just come because, my pastor speaking or my friend speaking on Friday. So I'm going to go Friday and then don't come back Saturday because then you're going to be mad because you missed out on Saturday. And then don't just wait to come on Saturday because, I got to get to that master class that Evangelist Copeland speaking. Yep, I want you there and I want you in that seat. But guess what? I want you to come Friday too. And on Saturday, you come in. We are going to start out with our pink table talk first. And we are going to have an amazing conversation. Ladies, you don't want to miss this. If you know someone that has been struggling, they really need to be there for these. Get there at 10 o'clock. Come at 10 o'clock. Don't say, they probably gonna. Nope, you better get there because you're going to miss some good stuff. Yes, the word is going to be amazing. Yes. We already know that. And we're expecting God to speak to us during this time. But he's also going to speak to you during that mental health masterclass as well. Healing Beyond the Highlight Reel. Come on. And then we have the power pause. So we're going to be talking about menopause. And you want to be in the room because we have a doctor in the house and we have a nurse in the house. So, oh my gosh, it's going to be amazing. You're going to get answers to some of the questions that you've been seeking. So again, it's free 99. You don't have to register, but vendors do. So June 15th is the deadline. June 15th at 11:59 p.m. We will be taking no more vendors. So make sure you go ahead and sign up to get your vendor space. Okay? Because our ladies at the Empower Her Experience, they love to shop. Let me tell you, I have to run them out of there every year. Like, okay, y'all, it's 1 o'clock. We got to go. And so they love to shop. So get your vendor space and make sure, most of all, that you are in the room. Okay? Make sure that you are in the room. We are excited about what God is going to do. I know that God is going to do something amazing. Why? Because your girl ended up in the ER last night. Yeah. And that's an indicator for me that God is going to do. Yes, I can look at it as an attack, but it's also confirmation because every year something has happened to me right before the conference. Something has happened. But guess what? That is confirmation. I have learned that is confirmation. Yes, it feels like an attack. Yes, it might very well be an attack, but it's also confirmation that God is getting ready to do something amazing at this EmpowHER experience. And so the enemy doesn't want me to be able to pull this thing off. For the last 2 years, he has tried his best to make me cancel this conference. And both times, people's lives have been changed. People's lives have been saved during this event. So I am definitely looking forward to the EmpowHER Experience 2026. You can go to our website if you want to sign up for being a vendor or just to check out more information. But the EmpowHER Experience, the EmpowHERorganization.com/events. The EmpowHERorganization.com/events is the website. Go on there, sign up to be a vendor, and make plans to be in the room. Every time I say this, I don't just say it. You don't want to regret not being in this room. And as always, I hope that you all have a wonderful, and ladies, this is not just for ladies. Men are in the room every year. There are men in the room. Trust me, the men get their blessings and they breakthrough too. So it's not just for women. I want to say that men, you are invited. So I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. If this episode blessed you, please don't forget to like, tag, share, subscribe, and remember something I always tell you every week. As always, be absolutely amazing today and have a great weekend, everybody. Protect your peace today. Honor your growth and grow anyway. I love y'all. Thank you so much for watching.